My name is Nicole Smith, and I am from the University of Michigan-Flint. And my PI was Dr. Alicia Wilson, who works at the Department of Pathology here at Michigan. And my study was the opioid epidemic, overdoses within Washtenaw County. So the purpose of this study was to study a local community and identify trends relating to the opioid epidemic, which may be used for targeted support and resources. So before I begin, I'd like to go over a few key terms. So opioids are a class of drugs used to reduce pain. It can be anywhere from natural to semi-synthetic to synthetic drugs. The opioid epidemic was declared a public health emergency October 26th of 2017 by President Trump, and this was because about 130 Americans were dying each day from an opioid overdose. So what caused the epidemic was three waves. The first one was in the 1990s when pharmaceutical companies reassured physicians that it was okay to increase prescriptions in opioids. The second one was in 2010 when cocaine kind of hit the streets a little bit harder. And then in 2013 was an increase in synthetic opioids, specifically fentanyl, but I'll get into that a little later. Finally, opiates sometimes are confused with opioids. They are a subset. They're just derived from the opium plant. So opiates are opioids, but not all opioids are opiates. So a little bit of statistics here. So in America, you have a 1 in 96 chance of dying, which is higher than being in a car crash or even choking on food. So I worked with Dr. Wilson, again, she's a medical examiner, and she performs autopsies here at the Michigan morgue. And then basically her job is to determine the cause of death and the manner of death. So the cause of death is the injury or disease that led to the death. The manner is under what circumstance. So this could be suicide, homicide, an accident, natural, etc. So what inspired the study? So this is an actual picture of one of the cases we did. It was an opioid overdose. And because I was working in the morgue, what we noticed is a lot of people our age, like 20 to 30 to 40 years old, were coming in from Washtenaw County, and they died from an opioid overdose. So that was a little bit hard to handle this summer, but that's what inspired it. And then so to sum it up, so the deceased patient would come in, we'd make a wide-shaped incision on their chest, we'd take out all the essential organs and then cut out an inch-by-inch piece, about a centimeter thick, that would get sent to the research center, and they cut it up into slides for us to look at for more depth. A lot of people ask me, how do you know what part to cut out? And so we take out a uniform piece that just looks normal like everything else, and if there's something that stuck out, like a tumor, we also pull that out. Additionally, we take out the blood, the urine, and the vitreous fluid for toxicology. So methods. So this was a statistical data analysis. We pulled the records from the medical examiner's office in Washtenaw County, and the data came from about mid-2011 till about a month and a half ago, just so we could stop it and analyze the data. And then the records contained demographic factors along with the department that found them and the drug that ultimately killed them. So when I got this data, I was like, okay, Washtenaw County is made up of multiple cities. So I wonder if there's a specific city that has more deaths than others. So if you look, Washtenaw County has a significantly higher bar than anywhere else. Ann Arbor is the 4 zip codes on the left, but Ypsilanti has a beat by about 63%. So moving forward, I looked at Ypsilanti as a subset because it was so prevalent. So moving forward, there are a lot of Ypsilanti statistics in addition to Washtenaw County as a whole. So as of 2 weeks ago, the CDC only had opioid data up until 2017. So this is 2017 data. If you look to your right, this was the amount of death in the country from opioid overdoses. And if you look at Ypsilanti specifically, it was 7 times higher than the national average. And then this was just like year by year, an increase in Washtenaw County, even though it kind of goes back and forth year to year, there's still an upward trend of about 25%. And then in Ypsilanti, it's pretty skewed left. Looks like a nice graph, not really. And then comparatively to the US, it is still an upward trend. So just to kind of put it into perspective that this is an epidemic currently going on. I then looked at age group, and in both cases, the age group of 30 to 39 was the prevailing age group. looked at gender, and males in both cases were about 2/3, and the actual population in Ypsilanti and Washtenaw County was a 1-to-1 ratio male to female. So if you have 2/3 of males dying and that's not the equivalent ratio, then it is a higher rate in males. I then looked at the opioid that was killing the person. So we had heroin and fentanyl as the leading drugs that killed the person. However, I don't have cocaine showed on here because it is an opioid, but that was a lot higher than those two bars. And so Dr. Jeffrey Jensen, the chief medical examiner I worked with, believes that this is because people are ingesting cocaine, and in that cocaine is fentanyl and heroin, and unknowingly they ingested it. I should probably also point out that fentanyl is a synthetic opioid and is 50 to 100 times more potent than heroin. I then looked at race in the Caucasian population is more likely to pass. And then I kind of broke this down a little bit further, like I did gender. So in this case, the Washtenaw County, American Indian / Alaska Native, whites and African Americans are more likely to die in their age group. And then I looked at this again in Ypsilanti, and only the white population was significantly higher than the said demographic. Finally, I looked at the manner of death, and 9 times out of 10, the opioid overdose was an accident. So to reiterate, in Washtenaw County, Ypsilanti has the highest death rate than any other city. Opioid-related deaths continue to rise. The age group of 30 to 39 has the highest death rates, and about 2/3 of all deaths are males. Heroin and fentanyl are the common drugs that killed the person, and the most deaths were whites and accidents. I also like to point out, 2 weeks ago, the CDC came out with an article with provisional data that they think that the opioid epidemic has came to a halt, or at least equal. They don't have all the data yet, so right now it's about 1,500 deaths lower than 2017, but because they don't have all the data yet, they just don't know, it's still gonna be higher. In 18 states, they saw an increase in percentage of deaths from the year before, and namely Missouri was 17%, and here in Michigan it's about 3.5%. Here are some current measures in place to fight the opioid epidemic in Washtenaw County. They're basically help groups and agencies, and then the last one, naloxone, that's an opioid overdose reverser. Thank you. So that one was a little bit hard. I did ask my PI that. So most people can tell when someone is or like symptoms of depression, etc. But in most cases, if they're not sure it's a suicide, they'll put it under accident.
Can you tell us how you know your patient that you train?
I actually don't know the identification of that specific patient, so I can't tell you which one it was.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any idea as to why the male deaths are higher, significantly higher?
I can't tell you. This was just kind of like a scratch the surface study, so I don't really know the causes of all this, just other statistics. So that'd be something